We're going to talk about Google Analytics today. We won't dive too deep or too crazy into anything in particular. It's going to be quite a bit of just a high-level overview. We'll start off with installation instructions. So if you haven't already connected a Google Analytics account with your MyLO site, this is where you'll want to start. Any questions before I start jumping in to that process? Okay. So at the point where I'm starting, I'm already assuming that there is a Google account that exists with, whether it's a Gmail that you've created that's particular for this, or maybe you have a league Gmail, or if you are using an external email, like my email is alebron@lwvc.org. I can take that email and create a Google account and technically not have a Gmail associated with that. So any of those situations, you start off having a Google account, and then to then create yourself a profile on your analytics, all it takes is visiting analytics.google.com as the very first step and signing up essentially. So if it's a brand new Google account and you haven't interacted with the analytics app or whatever you'd want to call it, product, if you haven't interacted with it yet, then all it takes is visiting this link and signing up. And then if you are a first-time user, it actually takes you automatically through the setup process. So again, my steps, exact steps are going to be if you happen to already have analytics set up, but you're trying to set up another tracking. So within your analytics account, and let me zoom in a little. Okay, so we're going to the left bottom tab, admin, and we are going to create. So there is going to be the difference between accounts and properties at the first question. The account is the entire overarching grouping of your analytics. You can have several accounts within your analytics. I think there's a limit of like 50 or something, but it's just to help you group any several properties that you may have within that account. For our purposes, for leagues, whether it's state or local, we're typically only needing to manage one account and then one property per that account. We don't have to get too complicated. So if you happen to already have an account, you can go straight to create a property on its own. And I'll show you before I start creating what the dashboard looks like. So your analytics accounts are different groupings. I, for myself, have a demo account, an lwvc.org account that has our properties lwvc.org and cavotes.org, and then a separate account for MyLO, which is lwv.org for that account name. So me being at a different point of not a typical just MyLO webmaster, I have access to multiple accounts. But again, if you are just managing your league's website and that is it, there's no other league website or an app that your league manages, then you can keep it simple with one account and one property. So I'll go at the top level so we can see all parts. When you go to create account, it's going to ask you what you'd like that to be called. I'm just going to make it demo number 2. The account data sharing settings, it's totally up to you how much you want to share back to Google. Or sorry, this is what you'd be receiving from Google. And then your property name, this is going to be more associated with what is the thing that you're going to be tracking. So again, if that's a website, if that's an app, we're usually talking about websites here. And so you can name that whatever you'd like it to be. The reporting information will be default by your location. When we go next, describing your business. The industry category is a required field, and it's always been kind of difficult to find the right one. I think they've actually increased the options because I thought maybe it's at a later point. There was a way to see charities or something as an option. I guess not. But this is not going to change your data in any way, the industry category that you choose. It's to help provide you a data point as far as benchmarking. So it would compare your data against others in the same industry category. And then same thing for your business size, just pick whatever best fits for your league. And then your business objectives. This will basically directly translate to the types of reports that you will see by default in your navigation after we set this up. So usually we just check them all. The drive sales, we don't have any financial transactions that happen through our website, so this will not actually make any difference. But again, it doesn't hurt. You can always make changes to the reports that you see. And then if you happen to want other business objectives, which I'm not sure what that actually produces, but again, you have the ability to edit and customize the types of reports you'll see by default. So those are usually the three that I select, and then we create. So we have to agree to the terms. I think this is just for creating a new account that you have to accept those. All right, so the good thing about creating an account, you create the property immediately after. So there's no needing to click back around to find where to create the property next. After the property comes the data stream. And this is the direct collection point of data from the three categories, either the iOS or Android app or website. We're always talking about websites here. By default, the HTTPS portion is going to be selected. That's the one that you want. To put in the website URL, I always recommend just going to your website, unless you already have it copied. And we just copy that directly from the address bar. You will have to remove the HTTPS portion since it's repeated, but the field will give you an error if it's in there. And then you can make it as simple as my website or anything you'd like there. The enhanced measurement should already be checked off by default. If it's not, make sure it is. This just means that aside from page views, they're also going to track scrolls, outbound clicks, site searches, form interactions, video engagement, and file downloads. For some of these, well, maybe not some, but like video engagement, if you have videos on your site that maybe you're not seeing the type of tracking that you were expecting to see, I believe that this is automatic. Yeah, this automatically happens for YouTube videos. There would have to be a bit more of manual editing to the HTML if you had other kinds of videos that you were hoping to be included in this tracking. But for scrolls, it means getting to the bottom of a page. So if they scroll just somewhere within the page, that may not be captured as a scroll compared to someone who goes all the way to your footer. Outbound clicks are, anywhere that they're getting out of your site from MyLO. The site search, I actually haven't seen this one myself. Yeah, this one might not be trackable through your own analytics because the site searches usually happen at a higher level than your MyLO website is in the directory of the MyLO system. It searches are usually not going to be at, for example, my site is my.lwv.org/California/demo site. Searches won't include that /California/demo site. But if the search result, has that and they click through to that, then that's a different story. Okay, and then form interactions, if they start to fill out a form or they submit a form, those are the types of interactions that are tracked. Any questions so far? Okay, so now we can go ahead and create this data stream. And I believe it should open up the instructions automatically. It's thinking. There we go. And if they don't open up automatically, then if you if you click on the stream, it will do the same thing. So web stream details, it's making sure we gave the right address. Yep, this is the same demo site. So before I get to the right place for instructions on analytics, I'm going to get us to the proper place here on MyLO. So on that exact same MyLO site, we go to the home page and we make a new draft or edit draft. And then we scroll all the way down to advanced settings. We're going to look for the Google Analytics tracking code. I think for most of us here, because all of you have a MyLO website that's established, it's not a brand new one that we just handed to you. This Google Analytics tracking code is going to be set to WYSIWYG. Please remember to set that to full HTML before we do any pasting. If you have it still set to WYSIWYG and we paste things in, the code may show up as text in the sidebar. I'm actually not sure, but it definitely will not work. So we want that as full HTML. Come back over to the Analytics tab and we click on View Tag Instructions. And we always want to install manually because you are taking that code to plug into that section in your homepage. So we just copy directly. I would suggest using the little copy icon in the top right corner. If you happen to copy like this and you accidentally miss one part, again, it will not work because it is not a complete Google tag. So we copy the entirety just using this little icon, pop back over to your MyLO homepage, and let's paste that in. All right, and that's as simple as that. I don't need to make any other changes. All righty. And then on your MyLO site, there's no indication that you've done that other than, you go back into your new draft and you see that it's there, but your viewers or your visitors won't see any evidence of it. And there's no indication on your sidebar or your homepage or anything like that that is being tracked. So when we come back here, there is an option for testing your website. I was testing it yesterday and I was giving it what I felt like ample time, and it still was not recognizing. So I would say this is not super reliable, this test option, because even after you can see that your analytics account, oh, never mind. It showed successful. I will say though, if it doesn't show up there, but you are seeing data, obviously it's you can ignore that. But okay, awesome that the test confirmed that there is a connection there. We can exit out of these screens. This is one thing that we'll see change. Whoops. Eventually, it will start saying data has started being received or something along those lines. We go next, and then we continue to home. So yeah, it may not be instant, no data being received from your website, but I would say in my testing yesterday, it was not even 30 minutes. It was much less, where I finally saw active users in the last 30 minutes, and it was one. It was me. I would hope that, your sites being actual sites, I'm only using demo sites. You might see, some more active user traffic at that point. But at the point of seeing real-time data, it should be less than those 48 hours. But to be able to see fully fleshed out reports and actual data across all of these kind of snapshots on your home tab, that takes at the very least 24 hours, but the full 48 hours to really see all of that. Any questions so far on the installation? Yeah, go for it, Deborah.
Okay, and maybe I'm getting ahead of your presentation, and if so, I can wait. Okay, so if I want to go in, so I've had my analytics up for, I don't know, a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
But if I want to go into my analytics and check to see that I've got everything set up properly and everything checked properly, can I do that? How would I do that?
Yeah, so all it takes really is coming to analytics.google.com, make sure you're at the correct, account and the correct property. And if everything is connected as it should be, this is essentially what your dashboard, your home tab would look like. The reports, like these little boxes, would have data. You saw that on my latest one that we just showed, or that we just connected, it's giving me this kind of banner at the top. No data received from your website yet. So they do make it pretty obvious if that connection is not working. But yeah, if you're seeing it like this, then that means that connection is working and the data is flowing.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, I'm going to get into allowing others access. We talked about the account and the property, how those are technically two different things. So that means you can also give access at the account level, or you can give access at the property level. Technically, you can give access at both levels for one person, but if you give somebody account access, then they have access to all the properties within it. So regardless of either one you do, I believe the options, like the steps that follow, are the same. So it'll show you the list of who already has access and what their role is. You can add users. I think user groups has to do with Google Ads. So it's not a readily available option. So adding users, and you can add multiple at a time. Let's see. If we add an email or a Gmail, I think you add a comma or enter. That will trigger that you can add another one. If you happen to add an email address that is external to MyLO, I'm sorry, MyLO, that is external to Gmail, but maybe it's associated with an actual Gmail account, then Google will do its thing and find what that Gmail address is. So I entered in, or I typed in lwvc@lwvc.org, and then it went and found that that email address is actually an associated email address to this Gmail. If I do it with an email that is not associated with a Gmail or a Google account, it will let me know and it will not let me enter that in. So make sure if somebody, like I said in the beginning, if somebody doesn't have a Gmail account or doesn't yet operate a Google account, if they have their league email or if they have their personal email that's something else, at comcast.net or whatever, have them sign up for a Google account. And within that form, I think the first option is they're asking you to make up a new Gmail, but then you can click to a secondary option to use your existing address, your existing email address. Okay, so then if we were to add these folks, the only restriction is that if you're adding multiple at a time, they would have the same role. So maybe group them by the role or just work on them individually, work on adding them individually. And then we have a description of each one. Administrator has full control of the account. An editor can edit all data and settings for an account, but they can't manage any of the users. A marketer can edit the audiences, key events, attribution models, look back windows, and events for accounts. It includes the analyst role below. An analyst can share created explorations to other users of the account and includes viewer role. Some of the things in the marketer I haven't actually had experience with. We talked about key events, which was like page views, scroll, form interactions, that list of things that we saw. With explorations, those are custom reports basically that you can create. And then a viewer is no interaction with the data at all. They're just seeing the data. And then I guess I'm not sure why you would want to have no role assigned, but you could have folks associated that would have no access at all. And then for the data restrictions, we really don't track cost and revenue. As I said before, that is just not something that we do because we don't have any financial transactions that happen through the website. So it won't make a difference whether or not you check those boxes. And then I have the box to notify them by email. So once I add them, it should send an email to each user I have listed and basically ask them to invite them. So I actually won't do that. So I will not save my changes. Any questions?
Maurice,
Yeah.
I've had mine set up for some time, but I'm not that knowledgeable about how to use the data. Is that something that you could cover a little bit? Like, when we're looking at the reports, what does it mean? And is there any action we should take?
Yeah, let's talk about some of the reports. Let's talk about the home tab first, since it gives you a way into what Google assumes as kind of what's relevant to you. Obviously, we have real-time data in the right-hand side. This is probably not a great one to use as an example. Okay. So we get the real-time data on the right side. With this type of data, it's probably more in just like a fun bit of data rather than being something that will help you analyze. And this is where it's hard because I did not prepare this one. This I have customized a bit. Let's see. Sorry, let me go through which were the types of reports that I should go over. Here we go. Okay, so let's go Sorry, I'm going to go back to another and see if I can just use the default reports. It may not have huge data, but I don't want to show you any customized reports that I might have been using. Traffic acquisition. Okay, so under business objectives, generates leads, traffic acquisition. We're talking about where they came from as far as the traffic that's getting to your site. Is there a, a search that they conducted? Did they get there through a direct link? Or was there a social media arrival? So obviously I have my demo site. My data is light. It's just direct. But you can really be able to see where most of your traffic comes from. If they are coming from an organic search, then we've talked about it a couple of times before. I wasn't prepared to talk too much about it, but we know that the Search Console is one available tool, and that's something that can tie in with that traffic originating from organic searches. I don't know if there's an exact, way to see, if you have a certain number of that on Google Analytics, can you see that exact number elsewhere and see what they were searching? I know you can definitely see in the Google Search Console what folks were searching, but it may not be a clean, direct reporting feature like that. But traffic acquisition, yeah.
All right. So how did you get, so I can get into my console, but how did you get into this particular page? Because I can't figure that out.
Yeah, if you go to the analytics.google.com link.
Oh, just go to that. Okay.
Starting there.
All right.
And then it'll be difficult for me to know exactly what you're seeing from there. Do you see a properties like the home tab as I was showing earlier?
Okay. Just
And I can make my way back to this report. So once you go to analytics.google.com, it should hopefully show you your home tab with some data already in there.
all right, I got it. So I can't, so the console is separate from the analytics. Okay, I was thinking that somehow I could get between the two, but I'm okay.
I do think there is though, Deborah. I just cannot recall off the top of my
It's okay.
head. But
Yeah,
that'll be at another session. We'll have to revisit that because I did looking at the MyLO account or the property for MyLO. I saw that I had a customized report that includes Search Console stuff. So I'll have to refresh myself on that, and then we can talk about that too, because I think that is
That's okay.
something
This works.
available. Okay, and then from here, yeah, I just went to just to traffic acquisition.
So I don't think I'm on that page, but my menu on the left is a little bit different.
It's different. Okay. So let's see if we can talk about that a little bit. I think okay, no. Under the reports tab, go down to library, I believe.
Okay, where do you have the library?
At the very bottom of the reports list.
Okay, oh, there it is. There it is.
And then under collections, this is where I was talking about, when we were setting up the property, it was asking us like, what are the types of data, or I can't remember the type of question it was, but there was 5 different check marks, and drive sales was one I did not select. But these are the reports or groupings of reports that come from those boxes I checked. So business objectives, life cycle is one that I don't have published because I guess, actually, I don't know why. User, but then if you want it could be as simple as just doing what I'm doing is publishing this. Do you see, Maddie, any collections that are not published for you?
Yeah, business
There we
objectives.
go. Okay, perfect. So then it could be as easy as just publishing. If you had any reports, you were just like, this is not necessary, like the drive sales came in from the business objectives, you can edit them as well.
Okay. But I can just go, I mean, if,
Yeah, you can
even
just
if it
publish
doesn't
them.
apply, it doesn't hurt,
Right.
right?
It's not going to do anything negative if you have
So I
an
should
empty
just
report.
publish that. And I do have life cycle published, which I think you did not have
I did not.
published.
Yeah,
So
so once you have a new collection published, when we go back to the reports tab,
mhm.
then we get those additional ones. There we go. That's what I was looking for because I know life cycle has acquisition and then obviously traffic acquisition is under there. But business objectives under generates leads has traffic acquisition. So if you do have them all added, you might want to clean some of this up just because there are, repeats. But you can control all of that through the library.
Huh.
And we're not going to talk about custom reports today, but you can create a new report that's outside of the collections of reports that are available by default.
Right. And I think you did teach us that before, but it's been a while, right? It's probably on
Yes,
video somewhere.
I do believe so. It's probably at least 2, maybe 3 years old. It's
Right,
it's been a while.
exactly.
But yeah, I think that if you look up Google Analytics, even reports, I think that that should bring it up if you're looking on our videos. Just drop that link real quick. Okay. And then just basics, not just of the traffic acquisition report, but all of the reports that you have here. You can add comparisons of different groups or different dimensions. So if you wanted to compare mobile traffic against your web traffic versus all of your users, you could do that. You have the date range where you can compare date ranges. You can custom set whatever you want the date range to be. And then you get the primary dimension that's associated with the type of report that it is. You can add a secondary dimension. Say that you wanted to know the landing page. So we know that the traffic was direct. Now we get to also see, well, what page did they directly land on when they came to my website? Yours should definitely be more interesting than mine. And then on the right side, you have the metrics. So for this particular one, we have session, which is depending on the active users or visitors. Or sorry, no, that's the engaged sessions is depending on them being active longer than 10 seconds. Either they had a conversion event, which is, maybe they clicked on something, maybe they scrolled all the way down to the bottom of a page, or they had 2 or more page views. So if they went to at least 2 other pages, or technically the first one counts, so at least 1 other page, then those are counted as engaged sessions. With regular sessions, I believe it is literally as long as a page view was counted, then a session is also counted.
So on the landing page, that would be like if I have a flyer that sends them directly to the membership page or the donate page,
Mhm.
that would then show the membership page or the donate page instead of the home page
Correct.
as the landing page. Okay.
And then, well, let's go to another one. So maybe I can have some data other than direct. Let's see what we get here. And that's the other cool thing. If you do happen to have more than one property or more than one account, when you are already looking at what is this called? At a report, then as soon as you switch to another property, it should hold that same report open for you. So let's add again. It just doesn't remember the additional dimension that I had listed. For a lot of these, sometimes you may see not set. And that is just, unfortunately, there's no identifying data that's associated with these sessions or with these visitors. But for the most part, you will see, I'm looking at all of MyLO. So
Can you explain what we're looking at?
this is the
Like that
traffic.
Michigan Dearborn.
This is all of MyLO. So this is a page on Dearborn Heights' website that is getting traffic through an organic search. So they've already received over 6,000 sessions through just whatever the Google search is that folks are doing, or whatever type of search.
Last 28 days.
It's getting them directly to this page. Yeah. And so for your site, you would see, let's talk about this one, for example. This slash means your home page. So for me, with this exact report, this is all of MyLO. This refers to the MyLO homepage, my.lwv.org. But for your particular Google Analytics, if you see this just as a slash for the URL, then that means they landed on your homepage, on your league's MyLO homepage. Let's see if I can see. Oh, and then another kind of housekeeping thing. This is for all reports. They always default to 10 rows. And I always do this to myself. I see the 10 rows and I'm like, that's it. That's all the data. It's not. Whoops, I clicked on something here.
Just sort it.
Yeah, okay, there we go. I accidentally sorted it. But yeah, so you can change up the rows and then you can go through all the many pages that you get.
Almost 35,000 pages.
35,000 pages. And this is just looking at one month's worth. So we get a lot of traffic on MyLO as a whole. I wanted to see if I could see some social traffic. Sorry. I'm trying. No, this might be the best way. Oh, even AI assistants. I'm assuming if folks are like on ChatGPT and they're like, help me figure out, information on voting, that might be another way. I want to see a social media one. Oh, I saw a different one. Here we go. Referral. So this is like from another website. I'm not entirely sure of the exact definition of referral, but just deducing from, we know that organic search is its own separate category. We know that social media is its own separate category. Referral, I think, is referring to other websites.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of stuff on Google Gemini, trying to do the research for our propositions. And so we've been putting sources into the notebook. And I'm just wondering if those are showing up as AI searches, when they involve MyLO.
It'll only count these if you are clicking from that link to get to MyLO. So I would think that it would usually be if like the AI assistant says, well, this is a good resource, or you list it as they cite it as a source in whatever they're giving to you. And if you click that link from that AI chat, I think that is what AI assistant means.
So
I
that if
haven't
we,
actually seen that one before.
yeah, because I mean, we list it as a source, and then we ask it a very long question with a lot of detail about who we want them to be and what kind of product we want them to make, and then in the Gemini notebook, it uses those sources that we've given it to go get information to give us our answer, as
Gotcha.
opposed to the whole internet.
It,
And some of those sources are even like documents that we've loaded up, but
mhm.
some of them are just URLs to other websites.
Well, it shouldn't be, well, actually, I'll have to look it up because I don't know if
Interesting.
I don't know if it's tracking the AI bots traffic. I wouldn't think so. Um, but I actually don't know. I'm gonna see if there's a quick answer here for us about what that means for Google Analytics.
So when you say that this is tracking all of MyLO, it's those that have analytics set.
No, this one that I have pulled up is a separate Google Analytics code that we installed like at the top level of MyLO. So it's um, regardless of if your MyLO site is tracking on its own, we are tracking this data here.
So you could see me in there somewhere.
Yes. I
Okay.
I can and yeah, this is something that
I'm
let me
afraid to
see.
look.
What is your state, Helen?
It's Butte County,
Okay,
California,
let
Butte
me
County.
just see if I can narrow down just to California, if that is a thing. Because you can also, in your reports, you obviously won't be searching by state name, but in this little search tab, you can narrow down, well, I'm working with a dimension that includes a URL, so I can narrow it down by whatever specifics of that URL that I want to see. But I could even, do you want me to go down further, Helen?
Sure, why not?
Why not?
Tells me whether I'm going to retire this from this job or not.
Yeah. I can always, look directly at your leagues. If you ever wanted to ask about a report, I can usually look that up just for your league, and I think I can set it like as a regularly recurring report to you, I believe.
Interesting.
Can I ask,
Yeah.
do you have these set up because this particular league put in that trigger? Or did you put in the trigger and that means that you've got the triggers for all leagues?
No. There's a lot that is
Okay.
just happening like by default. Like the the triggers for these are just I wouldn't be able to tell you the actual, terms for it, but that's just what Google Analytics is able to track by default. They can tell the origin of the visitor, whether I mean, obviously we saw some that were unassigned. I don't think there's any in this, but there were some that did not have a particular type of traffic acquisition. But for the most part, you will see, yeah, it's just Google looking through, I'm assuming the cookies that they're using to track the
Well, do you
visitors.
know how many people are using, how many of these league sites are being visited, whether the league site has put in anything or not?
I'm
Like
sorry.
you could go to let's say the Brookline League. You go to the Brookline League, you can see how many people, how many times it's been used. Won't be more than 2 digits, but okay, all right. Now that tells me that there's 29, it's been seen by 29 times within the last 2 weeks or last month.
Mhm. But again,
Okay,
this is not your total traffic. We're speaking specifically, like just taking this first line, for example, we're talking only about those who either typed in this address or they copied it from somewhere else. They went directly to your homepage because they put that into their address bar. So that
okay,
means 29 sessions from the last month have done exactly that. But 21 sessions went to your homepage through a search. So technically, if you group these by the landing page, then that means you had almost 50 or 50 sessions that were originating on your homepage, but they got
okay.
there by different means.
Oh, that's interesting. I
Yeah.
didn't know you had that. That's great.
So,
So now,
yeah.
Aramis, what happens then if in my let's say in my newsletter,
Mhm.
or let's say just I send out an email to members and I say, here's the link for this page to read something. And everyone then clicks on that and they automatically go to my membership page.
Mhm.
Does that show up as a direct?
If they're originating on your website, it will not actually. This is about where the traffic was acquired. So I believe if they've already started a session on your website, say they're reading the newsletter on your website, and then they click a link to go to another page, that secondary click will most likely not be reflected in this report because this, I believe, is talking just about how did they first get to your website? Like how to start their session, how did they arrive?
So then if I send out an email and I say, don't forget to renew your membership, and here's the link to do that, and I give them the link back to our membership page, that would be a direct because they're starting their session at that membership page.
Correct. That is exactly it. Yeah, so this is not a full picture of your data, this traffic acquisition report, but it is I mean, it doesn't always have to be your starting point, but it is a good view into, well, how are folks getting here? And where exactly are they landing? Any other questions about the traffic acquisition report?
So I'm looking at traffic acquisition and I see a graph. How do I get to this list?
I don't know why my graph doesn't show it. The graph should be right above it, so just scroll down.
Oh, maybe that's it then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not
probably.
sure why.
Yeah, mine's not nearly as interesting as yours. Only a few different pages showing up. Oh, and I have an AI assistant in there too.
Let's see if, oh yeah, I did look it up. Let's see what Google said. It automatically tracks and groups click-through traffic from generative AI chatbots. So yeah, it would have to be somebody clicking through to the link from an AI chatbot. So as you were explaining, Maddie, that you enter in MyLO addresses to your chatbot, that is not what's being tracked here for the AI
Right.
assistant.
As a source
Mhm.
for that AI chatbot to use while it's coming up with an answer.
Right. And then you would click that to see, what sources they are using.
I could see it, footnotes.
Right.
which ones it actually used.
Right. So if you happen to click on one of those footnotes and got to your MyLO site, then that would be one of those sessions that's tracked here on the traffic acquisition report.
Okay. Not the fact that it went in there and read some stuff and put it into its summary.
Right. Right. It has to be that that click to
through.
get to it. Mm-hmm. Any other questions? And I'm not getting too deep. I mean, obviously with every report, the secondary dimension, you can choose from a number of different things. Like there's so many different categories. Each one has usually several to choose from. So if you wanted to see like the device type, like is most of your direct traffic coming from cell phones or, you know, I guess that didn't give me something it liked. Maybe device category? I guess not. Oh, there we go. I had
Not much going
narrowed
on in Brookline.
I had narrowed it down to Brookline. So yeah, if you wanted to see, well, we have way more traffic coming on desktop when it comes to direct versus mobile. But on organic searches, mobile is beating out desktop. That might not change, you know, what you're doing on your website that much because the device or the MyLO website does its own thing to like respond to the screen size and should resize your content accordingly. But you know, maybe you don't have as many QR codes because you're having more mobile traffic. I don't know. But there's different dimensions that you can choose from. So definitely have a look at the rest of them. I just really love these two, landing page and query string. Usually query string doesn't get filled in, I don't believe. But landing page we saw, like it'll show you the second portion of the URL that they landed at. And when I say second portion, I'm just excluding the address that you've provided to Google Analytics. So for my demo site, I added, you know, my.lwv.org/California/ all that good stuff. Anything that follows that, like if we're talking about my about page, then on Google Analytics, all I will see is /about. So same thing for you guys. You'll see a shortened version of the URL, but you know you can assume what the beginning portion is. It's your MyLO URL. And then page path and screen class is very similar. It's just not referring to where did they land. It's just the URL that's associated with whatever that initial dimension is. So let's talk about pages and screens. That's another report, I believe, under life cycle. Why is it not opening up for me? Reports. We need to go back to a demo. That's really odd. Maybe home? And then reports? There we go. That was weird. Okay. Gotta remind myself. Okay. Under life cycle, under engagement, pages and screens. You could probably find it under business objectives too. I'm not sure. Insights, this little like graph icon with the little sparkles. You'll see those all over, especially if your Google Analytics account has been you know, going for a while, or the connection between your MyLO site. It'll just analyze your data a little bit extra than the report does, and then spits it out in words, which is sometimes really nice. So we have pages and screens. This is going to be basically about your page views. So it will list by page path. And again, screen class, it lists that, but it won't that won't show any different data. The page path is the second half of the URL. So again, like with this one, we can assume that what comes before the slash is my.lwv.org for my case. And then the same thing, we can add a secondary piece of data. Wait, let's see, we have page path and screen class, and we're talking about the different page views. Can we look at the landing? Well, I think that's actually the same. Yeah, that's going to be the same piece of data. What about... Yeah, no, I don't know about the traffic source being helpful. I'm trying to think of what, maybe event name. So again, events are, no, this will probably just be page views only. Oh,
Yes,
okay. There's a little bit, not just page views, there's a little bit of difference. User engagement, I believe that that's referring to what we saw with the traffic acquisitions. There was a difference between sessions versus engaged sessions, and there was 3 criteria. If you met one of those 3, it was like if you're on the website active 10 minutes or more, if you have 2 or more page views, and then I can't remember what the third one was, but it was, oh, maybe scrolling down to the bottom of pages. It was 3 different. So if one of those is met, I'm assuming that's where this event comes from, user engagement. But for the most part, page views, or sorry, pages and screens, which is the name of the report, it really just is super helpful to tell you the page views. This, I would say, is one of those reports that is a big, like the full picture, because it should include every single page view. Even if they are not an engaged session or not in an engaged session, a page view, all it requires is the page loading, and that's it. So that means that this report is tracking sometimes the simplest of data. Maybe they let the page load, didn't even look at it for a couple of seconds, and that was it. Like that, this is a pretty full picture of the data, the traffic on your site. Any questions?
So is there a way, so I see that I had someplace on here, I saw that I had 169 views from Singapore. So is there a way that you can say only track like US?
There is. We actually have some instructions on it because that is a thing we've been noticing more. And I want to say kind of as a disclaimer, Deborah won't be the only one. I will show you in the real-time snapshot. That is just kind of the nature of being online now. So obviously, I mean, we could assume there might be some international US, maybe they're trying to figure out how to vote, but for the most part, it is not going to be actual humans with that traffic. It seems that globally there has been a massive just wave of automated bot traffic and AI scrapers that are coming through Southeast Asian data centers. So there are a couple of ways that you can filter this data out. So I will save this. Maybe we can go over this next time, but I'll drop the link to this instruction in the chat. But technically, you can, yeah, you can choose one of three ways for filtering this data out.
Okay, thank you.
So
Yeah.
I'm looking at my real-time overview and it has 0 everything. I guess it's only the last half hour, but
Go visit your site because it's pretty quick as far as
okay.
let's
I
see.
mean, I have it open, but I haven't done anything with it, so I'll do something.
Yeah, just like move around. Yeah, well, mine is showing already.
There we go. Let me just add scrolling.
And make sure if you scroll, you have to scroll all the way to the bottom of a page
Yeah, I
to
just
count.
went to the bottom and now I'm going to click over to my newsletter. Okay. Let's see if that
made a
shows up.
difference. Because when I was doing my testing yesterday, I was testing that as well. Mine was still at 0, and I'm like, I'm on here. So I started clicking around pages, and it took a couple of seconds, but it finally was like, oh, there you are.
And let me refresh it.
And then
Now,
while you're doing that, oh yeah, go for it, Deborah.
Isn't there a way that you can not count the times that you go to your like that they can take out your
traffic?
my traffic? Isn't there a way to do that?
I believe it is only through IP addresses. Let me make a note. Okay.
Because I go to our website a lot.
Yeah, I will check that out because I know I've done that testing myself, but I don't know how well I was able to do it because if it is IP addresses, then I guess that's not too bad. Most of us are usually, using the same stuff to visit those websites, but I will see what options we have there.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then I did want to show off this Ask Advisor option. I think you can even do it on the reports too. Anywhere you have a graph, maybe just not the real time, but when you hover over any of these graphs, it shows up Ask Advisor. And I just liked that it, again, turns things like into actual sentences and help me understand this. That I was using that the whole time yesterday in my testing. And it should just pop up a little side tab. I don't know why it's not coming up. There we go. And then it uses AI to help you put into words what this data means. So especially if you're needing to create like a report for the board meeting or something, this might be a way to get you started with that.
So you all are very far ahead of me. Way back at the beginning, when you sign up, am I using my league's Gmail account?
I would say that's probably best. The reason I say that that's probably best is because then you'll have hopefully more than one person that has access to that, so that if for any turnover reasons, no one is left out from having that ultimate access.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, because then there's no limit as to how many users and different roles that you can add folks with.
Okay.
So, Amaris,
Yeah.
I'm on my real-time page and I'm still not seeing anything. So is there some setting to get that data?
No, there shouldn't be anything other than making sure the installation is there. For the other reports, you do see data?
Yeah,
Huh. I am not sure.
like
Maybe
I
we can stick around after.
okay.
I'm not sure how helpful I can be, but we can poke around together.
Sometimes it's good to just, noodle around and talk about it, and
Yeah.
then it becomes clear.
Anybody else have any other questions?
Probably a million, but I'll let you know later.
Oh yeah, I'm always here, if especially if you are installing and you're like, wait a minute, give me a call and we can go over it together over the phone, or we can hop on a Zoom if necessary too.
Thank you.
Yeah. If anybody wants to stick around to watch me and Maddie poke around, feel free. But we'll call it for today. Thank you as usual for joining us. Next session, we are looking at the 20th. So I will definitely post a reminder for that, and I will figure out what we'll be talking about then. But we'll definitely look at the filtering, since that's kind of what we left off at.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Good session. Thank you very much.
Awesome. All right. Thank you,
Hey.
everybody.
Thanks.